The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
Friday pod.
Hey, I like this one. Kian's with us for the podcast too.
Which will make sense once you realise that
Yeah.
in the show, Kian digging some sky racing.
An Australian high school's been renamed on Google. So would this be by a cheeky tech-savvy hacker
So on...
on Google? So I don't know if this would be like...
Because you can do it on Wikipedia. I messed with my school, but keep going.
Well, this school is named after the former Prime Minister Bob Hawke in Subiaco.
Hawkeye.
Just near Perth. They've come up with something better than that. They changed the name.
Hawkeye's pretty good.
That's very good, actually.
Oh, you wait to see what they change it to. They changed it somehow or other. Google got an advisement of the incident, but it hasn't taken any steps yet to change the school's name back to the Bob Hawke College, because somehow or other some person's got in there and renamed it the Bob Hawke Tour College.
Very good.
Like, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So at the moment, officially still on Google, it's the Bob Hawke Tour College.
So just to confirm, it's the Bob
Hawke Tour and spit on that name.
Hawke
College.
Tour. You know what my kids were telling me about her? What's his name? Who's the guy with Prime Energy drink?
Logan Paul.
Is it Logan Paul?
One of the Pauls. Is it Logan Paul?
One of them.
Yeah.
You know, Kian?
I know the drinks. The one the
Yeah.
kids
Pretty sure
are
it's
mad
Logan Paul.
about.
Yeah, the kids
Yeah,
are mad.
well,
Yeah.
And KSI as well.
Well, one of
isn't
the Logan Paul, is he the one that's meant to be fighting Tyson?
I don't
or-
know which one's which.
Well,
but
whichever.
The Pool brother.
But one of them got her signed up to a podcast, and the podcast was Talk Tour,
I saw that on her. I follow her on Instagram. Yeah, Talk Tour.
Yeah.
which is
she's
a
just-
great name,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for
Yeah.
your interactive sort of talkback experience.
She's
So
not
that's-
bad talent.
isn't she?
She's
Did you
pretty
see-
funny.
Did you see her thing? I can't remember who it was with, where she misheard the lyrics of Alicia Keys and Jay-Z's song "Empire State of Mind."
No.
All right, hang on. I'll find the
Find
song.
it.
I'll find the song. I definitely want to have the audio of her saying it.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't mind it. 'Cause keeping in mind that she didn't try and get famous.
No.
It just happened to
No.
her, so she's just trying to leverage it. You can't blame her, right?
Hey, listen, I'm
For
not having
sure.
a go at him.
Hey, mate.
She got to go on stage with Zach Bryan. Straight
She
off the
did
back
too.
of that.
She's done
yeah.
everything. So here's the song I'm talking about.
I be spiked out, I could trip a referee. Tell by my attitude that I most definitely from.
That Concrete Jungle.
Yeah, Where Dreams Are Made Of,
Yeah,
right?
okay,
She
yeah,
said,
Amazing.
I really like that song by Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. You know, the Concrete Jungle Wet Dream Tomatoes? And I guarantee now that's all you'll hear.
You listen to it
That's
again.
all you'll hear.
I be spiked out, I could trip a referee. Tell by my attitude that I most definitely from.
She's got a point.
Isn't that
You
great?
actually hear
Isn't
it.
that great? And she said it so. She's like, you know, that song, like Concrete Jungle Wet Dream Tomatoes?
Why would it be wet dream tomatoes?
I don't
Tomatoes.
What does that even mean?
You know the song Cheap Wine
Cheap
Yeah,
wine.
by Cole Chisel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheap wine.
So a friend of mine thought that it was
So hang on, the words are cheap wine and a 3
3-day growth.
Hang on, let me see if I get it.
Yeah, hang on. Better if we can do it.
Yeah.
Wait for it. This will all be edited out. No, it won't.
Don't have it.
Adelaide.
Can you
Of course we
believe
don't.
it?
Adelaide?
Is it called Cheap Wine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Perhaps it's just Jimmy
Yeah.
Barnes. No, it's Cole
No,
Chisel.
that's
Cole
Chisel.
Yeah.
That's
Cheap
Chisel.
wine.
Let me see. We're checking Adelaide. If it's not in Adelaide,
Adelaide have weird songs for some reason.
oh,
Not weird
you
songs.
know what? We might have it, gang. We might have it.
Adelaide?
Is it the hook? Yeah. Is it the hook of it? I'll
Yeah,
play it. Here.
yeah.
Yeah,
This bit?
that's it.
Yeah.
She thought and thinks to this day, because I haven't corrected it, it's cheap wine and a 3-legged goat.
You can hear it.
Give it one more go.
Oh, dear.
That's quite a weekend.
Three-legged bro.
That's like,
That is quite a
That's
weekend. Cheap wine. I know it's been done before.
that's like what a name for a movie like The Hangover. You know what I mean? It's cheap. This is where it ends. Cheap wine and a 3-legged goat.
or a novel. Like, if you were in an airport, you'd actually go, well, I've got to read that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know what it's about. We can revisit that. Like, I know it's been done on radio.
Yeah, we'll do it
before.
on Monday.
Like, I won my first ever mobile phone on misheard song lyrics on Martin Malloy.
What was it?
It was James Rain, Hammerhead. It's not even a song that anyone would know, so it's not even that fun. We definitely wouldn't have it, but it was...
You've been
hanging with the
the
nicest people... Hammerhead. And I thought it was because hacky sack was a game back then. Remember hacky sack?
I remember
I thought it
hacky
was
sack.
genuinely thought it was, you've been hanging with the hacky sack people, hound dog, yeah. Which, you won't be able to hear it, but, you know.
There was a big hacky sack community
Yeah, it was
group
big
at the time.
back then. Anyway, they misheard song.
Yeah, that's fun. I went
Yeah,
looking for
it's a fun
some
one.
now.
We
but
could revisit that.
We'll just save it
It's
for
going
the
to put
show
incredible
proper.
pressure on you, though.
No,
for
mate.
show
Pressure's what
proper.
I live for this
Pressure's
shit,
a
mate.
privilege.
I live for this shit.
Pressure's the price of entry in this studio.
What'd you think of sitting in on the show? Is it good fun?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we do. Like, just plug in, entertain the city
Yeah,
for a whole morning.
what a job.
It's at least because you have to do form. Like, you spend literally hours doing the form, right?
Yeah, I do. I spend
Do ya?
hours. Like
But what does that even mean, like, to do the form?
so what it looks like is I print race by race, and it's like formatted with horses in order, their jockey, their colours, and their last 3 runs. And I'll
Is there a race in there you know about? Not really. Is Wheatwood in here?
Wheatwood. I've covered everything.
Is it in
So what-
Is it in here?
I just know it off the top of my
When
head.
you
now.
say Wheatwood,
Well, give
that,
us a-
that
give us
means that means that means for tomorrow's thing at Wheatwood, you sat there and studied every race
yeah,
tomorrow.
I'll spend an hour on every race, and there's 9 races, so it adds up. And then yesterday I filmed a show, the playbook, which was going through race by race for the Wheatwood. And it's watching replays on the laptop.
Give us
What?
a rundown of Wheatwood then, for instance. Like,
Yeah.
Give us the form. It's not,
I know I just said I could do it off the top of my head. I'm just for reference.
Yeah.
well, I'm looking for the
Getting
friggin'
the
paper.
market up.
I can't find it in the friggin' paper. Have I missed a page?
So the Wheatwood's race 8, and Yellow Brick, who's probably one of the most exciting horses in Brisbane, is the favourite.
Why is it so exciting?
He should have won the Wheatwood last year. And then he won a couple of good races over Carnival here. So he's like your top tier sort of racehorse who can match it with the Sydney horses. So he's one of our best in Queensland. And he resumes in the Wheatwood. Tony Gollan's got like a
He's got 4.
58 horse pronged attack. Like, yeah, he's got heaps
In the race,
Yeah, but he's drawn terribly with probably what was his best chance. So
Didn't get the bunny?
didn't get the bunny, didn't get the pain.
and that makes a huge.
Didn't get the bunny.
Count,
Didn't
I
get the
know
pain.
nothing. Like it's like I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I love sport. Like, absolutely love it. And I can appreciate horse racing, but for whatever reason, it just never grabbed me as a kid. So, like, when you talk to me, you're talking to someone who has zero knowledge of
but
horse racing
you can
whatsoever.
understand what she's talking about. Like, give us
No, I
one.
can understand, but it's just amazing to me that that it takes
There's
that much
so
time to
many
invest
variables,
into,
yeah.
yes.
To come up with, like, because I do a top 4 for each
Yeah.
race, and to get, it's like a puzzle you've got to put together, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
of the race, because you're looking at how they're handicapped, so how the horses are weighted, whether they were a hard luck story last start, where they've drawn.
Speed map?
Speed map. You've got to do a
Speed map.
speed map.
So what's the
So what-
speed,
so-
mate?
It's a forecast of where the horses will likely race, because generally horses have their own pattern that they like to race.
Which is based on what their previous runs.
It's based on the horse itself. So some horses like to get back, so they'll have to go back, but they rely on genuine tempo up front. So they need horses with good speed to roll along up front, so they can mathematically make ground late.
Right,
Because if they
right.
go really steady up front, mathematically it's very hard for horses to break like 33 in a sprint home, the last 600. So
Right,
if
right.
you need luck if you've got a back marker, if that makes sense. You need tempo, you need the right brakes, you need the right ride.
Do tipsters have, like, algorithms for this sort of
Yes.
business? And, like,
Yes.
because surely
They
AI
do.
can create
But I'm
this.
against it. I
Right.
will never,
Okay.
ever,
Okay,
I don't know why I'm so hard on this.
because
But
you're from Kilgandra.
Yeah, I think because there's a lot of tipsters, and don't get me wrong, some of them are amazing, and they've never touched a horse,
Yeah,
if that
right.
makes sense. So I think my edge is I can look at replays and see how horses move, how they were moving through the line, what distance they'll probably likely get out to and improve if there was an issue, because there's lots of gear changes are a big thing in horse racing. So blinkers,
Yeah, right.
tongue ties, remedial gear.
Yeah.
So I think I have an edge where I can spot that.
Yeah. Like Ash
in a
has been
replay.
on radio when he doesn't wear underpants.
It's a fact.
Bet people don't know that.
Yeah.
Algorithms
Yeah.
don't pick that up.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We
Algorithms
just know it
miss
from
that
the
stuff.
smell.
I think it's just a feel thing.
For me, it's smell. Buzz rather feels it. He feels it.
I feel it all the time.
I smell it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you've got to be.
It started off as Free Ball Fridays, and it's just it's just gone.
It's snowballed.
It's just gone snowballed since then, and now it's just the way we roll, literally.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast. Nova. Hey, Josephina.
Oh my
Smell
god!
every fart.
Have you fright?
I guess everything's got to be tried for the first time at some stage.
Brisbane's Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill.
Let the boys watch.
6:03 Friday morning.
Okay, everyone's talking
doing?
about.
Yeah, I
here
mean, this is
about where
huge.
were you when you found out that Kevy Walters
Oh,
got sacked?
I was getting into bed last night.
I was at Cirque du Soleil. Peter Fegan I was chatting to Feegsy.
Did they stop it?
Well, they should have. Yeah, mid acrobatics. They're like, stop!
So everyone stop.
Kevy's been sacked.
Kevy's gone.
And Feegsy just like out of nowhere just pulled out his phone. He's like, oh my god, Kevy's been sacked.
Jeez.
So not even. I don't think anyone had any idea.
Well, that's interesting that he didn't have an inkling that it was coming down the pike.
Yeah.
Well, even within my, I've got people within my WhatsApp group, whatever, that, if anyone knew, they would have. Nope.
It was only last
Big
week.
shock. Big shock.
It was only last
Huge
week
shock.
that Dave came out, Donaghy, and said, I think he's safe.
Full
We should-
support of the board.
Full support of the board.
Yeah.
and
Was
then-
it really?
Yeah, it was like not long ago.
Well, this is what I can't understand, and we've placed a call through to Peter Bedell, who has got the story about it in the paper this morning.
Yeah, right.
But has Kevy stepped aside? Like, that's one way that I've heard it expressed. Has Kevy been sacked? I've heard that that's another way that he's been terminated. Okay, is it a decision from Brisbane or is it a decision from Kevy?
Well,
I don't know. He's already made a statement.
He's made a statement, and the statement seemed quite polite
That makes
because
you think, yeah.
when I first heard that he'd been sacked, I started getting pretty angry about it.
Yeah.
Like, that was my initial instinct.
Pretty brutal, if that's the case.
But then I saw Kevy's statement later on, and I was like, well, I don't understand what's going on.
Less than 12 months ago, I mean, should have won the GF.
Yeah.
Could have and should have, and then 12 months later, gone.
A lot of injuries though this year as well. Like it's not like we had a full roster of players to choose
Yeah.
from. Adam Reynolds out most of the year. Like any team, you take the halfback out of any team.
We lost Flegler.
Yep.
Who else did we lose?
Farnworth.
Reynolds.
Herbie.
Yep.
Games with Reynolds.
Capes.
Kurt.
Yep. A lot of experience.
Sorry, you mean lost as in
Like
gone,
just
yeah.
in
Sorry.
cattle.
Then injuries. Of course.
And yeah, it was an underperforming season. Probably not acceptable, but wow. I remember that last
Pretty
year.
brutal.
Like when there was 15 minutes to go, or whatever it was, and we were in front in the grand final. Like in my mind, I thought we had it won.
we were high fiving.
Yeah.
It was done.
But the fact that Kevy
Wasn't
was
even
the
an early
coach,
crow. It
No.
was just like done.
I remember thinking Kevy will coach this club for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And having him as coach made me happy. Like
Yeah.
just as a fan of the club, I loved it. The
How
fact
great-
that Elfie was out there running the water,
And getting to chat to him
it made
every
it more
week.
special. Yeah.
Peter Bedell reported in the Courier Mail that he's been sacked, and the step aside comment has come from Kevy's statement. So I guess there's a bit of blurred lines in there and where it all sits. But we're going to try and track down Peter Bedell, who broke that story on the Courier Mail after 7 o'clock this morning, or any time we can get him.
And who have they got to replace him?
Well, that's the thing. Like, Benny Teo's coming as assistant coach, but that was on Kevy's watch.
Yeah, Kevy
So I
made
hope
that appointment.
I hope that the new guy's going to want his own people. That's going to unsettle that because I think
But
Benny
my-
Teo was going to be a real positive thing
My
this
point,
year.
of course. And I think they brought Trent Barrett is coming too.
Yeah, and Trent Barrett.
But my point is, if the Broncos have made this decision, you don't jump off the bus unless you've got a taxi waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Who is the new coach?
Madge.
I mean,
Maguire.
Yeah, well, who is it?
Who knows?
let's come back and chat more about this,
Yeah.
Mitch, if you want to jump in as well.
But yes, we should get Mitch in. We
Yeah.
should also address the fact it's grand final.
Yes,
Eve,
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, come
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
Mighty
yeah,
Brisbane
yeah.
also,
Mighty
yes.
Brisbane Lions. We've got Lockie Neal.
Yes.
We're going to play a bit of that this morning on the show from Melbourne. We've got a whole heap of stuff happening
Yeah.
as well today. So, yes, a lot going on.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
going to try and get down to Melbourne with Nick. He is down there ahead of our AFL Grand Final, which is tomorrow.
The Grand Final parade will be on today. Have you ever been in Melbourne for one of them?
I have, yeah. I spent 4 years in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, actually. Like, it's a weird concept when you think about it, but everyone down there gets into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was down there for one.
Yeah.
1 year. Pretty memorable stuff.
The parade.
The whole, it's just like,
never done
but
one.
when you're not, like, I wasn't passionate about either team. Hawthorn was one of them. And
Yeah, you were just down there by.
I was down there. I didn't even realise it was the Grand Final parade weekend. And I've just sort of popped up, and it was like all of a sudden I was in an army, like, full of Minders walking at me, like dressed in yellow and brown. And it just seemed absurd to me. I was heading like a salmon in the other direction. But yeah. But Mitch, I learned about Kevy's sacking last night. From the Broncos coach, from you, in that message that you sent out. You sent out a group text. There was no whisper that I'd heard from anywhere that this was about to happen.
No, you had a couple of angry fans
Was there?
online that were like, oh, because they don't, we didn't make the final, sack the coach. It's always the answer. But like, as far as like a sort of official stuff, there wasn't talk that it was going to. Like, you look at that. I think he's the third coach that's been sacked this year. You get the Rabbitohs, they finished in 16th. Parramatta, they finished in 15th. Broncos are up. Okay, it was 12th, but like they were within a whisper of making the finals at the grand final less than 12 months ago, which is insane. So no, as far as like putting us in line with those people down the bottom, there was no talk of that.
So Kevy finishes. This was his fourth season as coach, wasn't it?
Yeah, took over at the end of 2020.
And I think that the record would stand that 3 out of those 4 years we didn't make the 8.
Correct.
1 year being that magical year last year where we made the grand final.
Yeah.
But when he assumed the team, weren't we wooden spooners?
Yep. Yeah, with that horror 2020 season where we won 3 games.
Yep. Didn't he take over when the club was probably at its lowest ebb?
Absolutely.
Ever?
Yeah, we'd never had the spoon before
First
then.
spoon.
Yeah. So yeah, it was at its absolute lowest point, and sort of doubled the efforts in 2021. We just missed out the finals in 22. Finished in 9th, but I think it was a mathematical thing. It was for and against. And then, yeah, like you said, we're 15 minutes away from winning the grand final last year.
Wow. So in other words, the trajectory of Kevy in the first 3 years of his tenure, or his 4-year stint, the trajectory was pretty high. It was heading in the right direction. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's come down a lot this year.
Well, they've clearly
they've made a call there.
They've clearly made a decision based purely on the capitulation over the second half of 2024, where they just had a mad streak of losses and went from potentially being a top 4 team to missing the final, which was pretty much like that was a crazy. Like it made everyone. One thing everyone was saying is there must be something going on here more than just losing game after game after game after game.
It was like a flick was switched somewhere through the season, wasn't it?
Yeah. So they've obviously identified that switch, either what the switch is or that the fact that switch happened. There needs to be some major changes. Yeah. And inevitably, the coach is the person that takes the fall on that because you can't lose half your team. So even if it isn't the coach's fault and if change needs to be made, the coach is probably the first and easiest way to make a decisive transition to the next phase of the club.
Especially in a salary cap era where you can't just move players on without taking a hit on the salary.
It sucks, but I mean that's just the way it is.
But then what you're saying is that Kevy lost the dressing shed, as they say. That Kevy didn't have the support of the players.
I don't know if that's the case.
I'm not saying you're saying that, but that would be the fact. If what you're saying is correct, and the players have dictated pretty much that Kevy isn't the man for the job, then Kevy obviously didn't have their support.
Yeah, I guess
that doesn't seem, and I have no inkling, anything like that. But I can't for the life of me understand why the players in the Brisbane Broncos sheds couldn't support Kevy. like Kevy, Elfie out there running the water, they're legends of the club. So they are, like, as a fan, there's nothing that makes me prouder than to see a former player as the coach or to see Elfie out there running the water. And because I know what those guys gave when they wore the jersey.
Yeah.
And what that jersey means to them.
I know what that jersey means to them.
Yeah.
I've got question marks over some of the players until they prove themselves.
And again, like culturally, and I hate using that word, I feel like that's an AFL term, but culturally, something went wrong in the second half of that year. And the quickest way to fix that, even perceptively, is to get rid of the coach. and start a completely new pathway.
What they do. Yes.
If the players are pissed off, whoever's pissed off, whatever's going on, the coach is always the first person to go.
Yeah.
They can't sack Reece Walsh, Pat Carrigan, and Ezra Mann.
Well, what are the conditions then, if that's the case, for the new coach that comes in? Kevy walks away.
I don't know.
Kevy walks away with, I think, 99 games, one shy of 100, and a 50.5% winning rate as the head coach. Okay, are you going to replace when the new bloke comes in? How long does he stay before he gets? But again, we don't know the details, and I feel like I could be getting angry for the wrong reasons because it seems like Kevy is at peace with the decision. But again, I don't know that either. It's just sort of vague comments in the paper.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's always going to go out like that.
Yeah.
He's a classy guy.
And he's been very generous with us as well over the last few years. We've had him on our show many times.
He's a great bloke.
Yeah, very, very good man. What we'll do, we are chasing Peter Bedell from the Courier-Mail. He broke the story last night of Kevy Walters leaving the Brisbane Broncos. We're going to try and chat with him a bit later on in the show.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
Oh, mate, there's a real sense of excitement here in Brizzy. Like Lutzi's wearing his Lions jersey. Everyone's excited. And are you feeling it? Are you feeling? Are you feeling what we're cooking up here in Queensland down there?
Yeah, it's so special, and I think we wouldn't be able to do our job if it wasn't for fans that we have supporting us. And we're so thankful for all the support around Brisbane, and even people that. Obviously the ones that have been lifelong Lions supporters, but people that have jumped on in the last few years and the last 10 years, whatever it may be, we've felt so loved over the last long period of time now, ever since I've been here. The Gabba's just slowly been filling up more and more every week, and I feel like most of our home games now are sellouts, which is incredible. The footy's come so far here in Queensland, and so proud of the footy club for what they've been able to do, but we wouldn't be able to do it without our fans and our fans in Melbourne as well. So just so happy that we're able to repay that with another grand final appearance, and hopefully this year we can go one better and hold up the cup at the end of it.
What about the fact that, like I know it's a cliche, but they say you got to lose one to win one. But strangely enough, both teams are in the same position. Although it does beg the question, what are you doing different this week that maybe you didn't do last year? Or have you made any subtle changes around that based on your experience from last year?
Yeah, well, first of all, we came to Melbourne a day earlier than what we did last year. Last year we got held up because of weather as well, so we didn't actually get in until pretty late on the Thursday, and it felt like a pretty big rush with the Friday so busy. So to have that extra 24 hours, I'll probably have more by the time we've got in. So we get a bit of extra time in Melbourne just to settle in, and I think you get a feel for the city, and it's just a bit of a different vibe where the venue is and whatnot. So we get to sort of settle into that a bit earlier, and I think just having been through it last year, you know what's coming as well in terms of the pre-match is a little bit different. Yeah. The game is obviously intense, and it's sort of footy war. So we'll be better prepared for all of those things, and obviously they will be as well. But I think it holds us in good stead, having been through it this last year as well.
And what about the collective mindset? I'm always interested in this in the team, in the sheds, and just as the game starts. Like I remember back in the day, Brownie, they wouldn't let Brownie listen to Akadaka on his headsets before a game because he'd come in and he'd be too aggressive. When you get when they wouldn't let him listen to it at all. But like aggression is so important, but controlled aggression is key as well. How do you contain your emotions when it means so much? Like you guys would do anything to win this game on the weekend. So how do you control all of that huge crowd, massive atmosphere? How do you take control of it?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, we speak about it through the week and just acknowledge what's in front of us and what's coming, and make sure that the guys are prepared, and you sort of just have those conversations through the week as well, so that you're not just rocking up on game day and wondering how to control those things. So having those conversations, and then each individual sort of knows what works best for them. And last week was a great dress rehearsal. We had 93,000 at the G, and they can't fit too many more in, so it'll be pretty similar. It'll be probably just over 100,000 there this week. So it's only sort of 7,000-8,000 more than what we had.
Wow.
Just experience. So having that and last year's experience as well, I think the guys will be able to make sure that they're in that exact frame of mind that they need to be to run out and perform. And we feel really connected at the moment. The energy's great. The vibe's high. So we feel like we're in a good spot.
So good, mate. By the way, there was such an awesome video I saw of your mum and you meeting after the win last week, and you can tell she rides every emotion with you. So just win it for mum, will you? Because
Well, not just for
do
mum.
it for mum.
Yeah, I'm heading to the game as well. So.
Beautiful. We'll see you there, Lappy.
Hopefully
I'll try and find you in the mix of 100,000. I'm sure it'll be pretty easy.
Mate,
Good on you, Lockie.
Go and get the job done, Lucky.
Let's go,
We're all
Lockie.
behind you, mate.
Good luck, brother.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
Yeah, massive show ahead of, off the back of the news that Kevy Walters had been sacked overnight.
Just talking to Lockie Neal just before, of course, the bounce down for the grand final tomorrow. Lions up against the Swans, MCG. It's 2:30 p.m. And Nick's down there. You're at the G now, Nick?
I am, my friend. Yes, we're
mate.
outside the beautiful Coliseum. I tell you what, how good is it to have a massive stadium that all the people can come to? I tell you what,
having that.
Imagine that, lads. Imagine that. But I got to say, there is this beautiful cathedral. There's some real reverence for this place. It's special, and now it's a public holiday down here in Melbourne. I think the excitement now, given that it's two interstate teams, now it's starting to build. Everyone's buying in now, and I've seen the Lions fans left, right and centre. First it was a little bit of, you see a scarf here and there's a little nod, you try and work out if they've come down from Queensland or maybe they're old Fitzroy supporters. But now the Queensland sort of spirit is starting to take over. And I think, I'd say all of Melbourne all the neutrals will jump behind Brisbane, because if there's one thing Melbourne doesn't like, it's Sydney.
Yeah.
So they'll jump on with us, just like Origin.
And I think there's at least
good point, actually. We'll probably have the majority of the neutral support for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
And I think there's 20 or so extra flights they've put in, and they're all packed at the moment. What's the weather like there, mate?
Yes.
Well, I've got 5 layers on for every degree that it is right now. It is freezing, but all the cloud is gone. It's a beautiful, clear day here, and it's going to stick around. It's going to be top of 21 and sunshine tomorrow. A couple of corporates told me, this is the sort of weather you go swimming in. I go, you guys live in Melbourne, you don't understand, all right? They're lucky. They're lucky they've got nice things down here, because the weather is truly horrible. It's a terrible place, but for one day a year, it's meant
to be good tomorrow, isn't it? Like, it's tipped to be good tomorrow.
21, he said.
Oh yeah. Perfect conditions. Maybe a little bit of wind around, but it'll be wonderful.
And you were at that breakfast yesterday. A lot of Lions supporters, and Jay Brown was there, and a lot of guys like that. Would you say quiet confidence is what we're going in with here? Like, what's the vibe amongst the team and the supporters in Melbourne?
It seems to have built throughout the week. Now that sort of shock of, hey, we managed to get here in the first place. Now it's all the storylines are coming through. The redemption tour, we've chased down 2 big leads and 2 finals. Anything is possible. There's a lot of belief in this group and in the support base, and now in 24 hours' time, really, it's time to consolidate that. But the mood is very good. It's very good.
Let's do it. All right, thanks, mate.
Good on you, Nick.
Might speak to you later on.
Cheers, Nick.
Yeah, and a reminder:
Thank you,
next half hour, Peter Bedell, who has the story in the Courier Mail this morning. If you're just waking up, Kevin Walters has been sacked as the Broncos coach.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
I'm sure many of you waking up and are shocked to find out that Kevy Walters overnight has been sacked as the Broncos coach. I didn't see that coming, but the front page of the paper this morning tells you all about it. Peter Bedell has written that, and he joins us now. Hello, mate. How you going?
Hello, team.
So this was a huge shock to everyone here. I haven't heard any whispers
sacked,
about
right?
it. Sacked? Like, what exactly has happened, and did you expect this?
Absolute shock, guys. And no, I didn't expect it. I mean, I got the tip last night, and I was quite stunned, because just about 5 or 6 hours earlier yesterday, I'd spoken to Kevin Walters myself. We were planning to do a big interview for the weekend about turning the Broncos around, not him being sacked. So it was a shock to us all, but obviously the 2-week review, the club decided that there had to be some major changes and drastic changes, and those changes were quite emphatically put into place last night.
So what was Where did it start? What was the genesis do you think, of this decision? Was it based on, from what you can gather, a series of events or the capitulation in the second half of this year? Or did they give any explanation to the sacking? Or was it just an overall disharmony and wanting to move forward in a different direction quickly?
Well, Kevin Walters will front the media this morning at a press conference. So will Dave Donaghy, the CEO. Look, my personal view, guys, and we'll know more in the next few hours, but I personally believe that the club-wide review triggered the departure of Kevin. I think from the sources and the people I've spoken to and what I've gleaned, the review wasn't favourable to Kevy, and I think that was the ultimate determinant of why he won't be coaching the Broncos in 2025, because I spoke to Dave Donaghy, the CEO, just a couple of weeks ago, and he was adamant that he wanted Kevy there next year leading the revival. So clearly the review has triggered the ructions that we're talking about today.
Pete, do you know what that review exactly was? Like, who did they talk to for the review? You just said club-wide, so this didn't just encompass the players, it was people higher up the chain, and if so, how high up? Like, who was it that conducted the review? And will they become public or they remain private?
It will stay private, guys, but it was a holistic review. It was undertaken by Michael Collins. He's a former New Zealand Rugby Union executive, and he worked in Super Rugby. He used to play rugby in New Zealand for Waikato, I believe, the Chiefs. So quite a credentialed player himself, and he's now at Bond University. He was called in to preside over the interviews and the meetings. All the 30 full-time players were interviewed, as was Kevin Walters. I'm told some of the assistants, football department staff were all spoken to. So it was wide-ranging, it was multifaceted, and as a result of it, Kevin Walters won't be the coach of the Broncos in 2025.
I mean, you can gather from that, given that the 30, as you said, 30 players being presumably the vast majority of people interviewed through that process, that on some level the players have said that they weren't happy, Pete. I know we're only speculating, but I mean that's a fairly high percentage of the people involved in the investigation.
Had he lost the support of the players?
Well, they'll probably say today, guys, that wasn't the case. But as was just mentioned, I mean, all the players are spoken to, and you have to have a fair summation that some of the feedback wasn't positive, and so and just how severe the feedback was, we don't know, and we probably never will. But I can't imagine that there wasn't some high criticism of Kevin for certain things. I mean, I'm sure they all look. We all like Kevin Walters as a bloke. He's a wonderful guy. He's gone through amazing adversity to achieve what he has in life. We know he had the pass of his wife a long time ago. So Kevin Walters is a club legend, 241 games, 5 premierships. Very few people have done what he's done for the Broncos, but there must have been some level of dissatisfaction, because Brisbane would not have pulled the trigger with 2 seasons left to run on his deal if there wasn't some urgent need for change.
Have you spoken to Kev yet? I know you've got a press conference with the club coming up shortly, but have you spoken with Kev?
I tried to ring him twice last night, guys, and he didn't get back to me naturally. He would have been devastated. But I spoke to him yesterday at around 12 o'clock, and his body language and conversation with me and that suggested that he wasn't aware of anything at that time. So things seemed to move very quickly yesterday, because when I spoke to him at midday, we were planning a catch-up. So it must have been pretty quick.
But if it wasn't for that last 15 minutes or whatever it was in the grand final, which was less than 12 months ago from today, Kevy Walters could have led the Broncos to their first premiership. In which case his job would not be under question in any way, you'd imagine, this morning. He didn't lose if he could coach last year, how did he lose the ability to do it this year? In the view of so many people in the club that were there with him, that enjoyed that ride with him to the grand final.
It's such a great point, guys. I mean, look, he was 3 minutes away from breaking the 18-year drought. I mean, it was 3 minutes. Yep. It was quite remarkable. And I think, guys, look, I think there's a lot of people at the Broncos that can't just blame Kevin on this one. I think there's a lot of people there that need to have a good hard look at themselves. I think the departure of Ben Ikin as football boss is now truly being felt. Yep. And I think there's a lack of leadership at the club. And I'm not only talking about players, I'm talking about the whole front office. I'm talking about the football department. They don't have a strong head of football since Ikin's departure, and I think Kevin Walters was a casualty of that. I think he was a prisoner of the lack of leadership in the football department and the front office. And until they get that right, they will not win premierships.
Who's going to replace him? Because surely
You're
not going to make a decision like this without having somebody who they think is going to do a better job in line.
Yeah.
So who is it, do you reckon?
Look, I think, guys, they would have a pretty firm plan B in place. Look, personally, I don't know the exact answer right now. I don't think they've formalised anything. My personal view, just from covering the Broncos and covering the game for 28 years, I think Michael Maguire, the New South Wales Origin coach, would be a natural contender. I think he'd be very hard to beat. He's got the hot hand at the moment. But Jason Demetriou works for the club. He was at South Sydney this year. Brad Arthur took Parramatta to a grand final. Ben and Shane Walker have played for the club. They won a comp in the Queensland Cup. So there's a number of options. And even Trent Barrett, who joins the club this year as assistant, he's been a head coach previously. So they're the names we'll be looking at.
So the club's making a further announcement shortly. You'll be heading to that, Pete. We don't know when we'll hear from Kevy, but I can say to our Nova listeners that he has texted me this morning and seems at least perceptively upbeat, saying onwards and upwards. He's looking forward to exciting new things. He said I'm just getting started, and he wanted to thank the Nova team, but also the Nova listeners for the support we've given him over the last few years as well. So that's really important.
Or they say what the other request was as well.
He also says we burn that Kevy intro immediately that we've had for him. So it very least seems like he's in high spirits given the circumstances this morning. But thanks, Pete.
No problem, team. All the best.
There he is. Peter Bedell from the Courier Mail.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
Join the celebration at Kitchen Warehouse McGregor Housewarming Party this Saturday, 28th of September, 9am to 12pm. Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill's Kitchen Games.
It was all happening yesterday at Kitchen Warehouse, the new store in McGregor.
Huge finale.
It was massive. We had 4 contestants, Mike, Troy, Beck and Deborah. They went head-to-head. They had to find 6 items, and the fastest to do so walked away with $3,000 to spend at Kitchen Warehouse.
High stakes, although the contestants who finished second, third and fourth all picked up $1,000.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Deb from Fernie
Deb
Hills.
got it.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming.
No, neither did I. And here's Deb chatting with Mitch straight after the win.
Both our second place and our winner found all 7 items correctly. One with 8 minutes 37 seconds, and our winner with 8 minutes and 8 on their timer. So we'll go straight to our winner, finishing with 1 minute 52 left. Deborah is our winner! I mean, I don't want to throw you under the bus when I say this, but you were so unconfident, you were so nervous at the start of all this, and you were our 4th contestant, so you had to watch all 3 of your opponents here go first, and you're our winner.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Nova. Thanks, Kitchen Warehouse. I am very excited.
And how quickly do you think you could spend $3,000 now that you know the layout of the store?
Pretty quick,
Pretty
mate.
quick, okay. Yeah. Once again, give it up for Deborah, our winner of the Kitchen Warehouse McGregor. Congratulations.
Yeah, so
good for me. It was first leg of my multi out of the way. I had Deborah into the Brisbane Lions, into the Storm.
That's a smart punt.
Wow. Yeah.
Speaking betting, we've got a big show. We've got Bruce McAvaney talking AFL later this hour, and then Kian Dickens, Sky Racing presenter.
Oh, yeah, Kian's coming in,
the
isn't
Spring
she?
Carnival's starting.
Yes.
It's got the Golden Rose, I think, at Rose Hill this weekend. So the Wheatwood in Toowoomba. God, there's so much happening.
Smarter
There
than
is.
Sue's as well.
Yep.
Of course.
And, of course, McGregor's housewarming party this Saturday.
Oh, yes.
Tomorrow, 9 till 12.
9 till 12.
So you'll be able to wrap that up and go watch the Lions hopefully win the grand final in the AFL. But make sure you head out there, join the celebration at Kitchen Warehouse McGregor tomorrow, 9 till 12. And congratulations, Deb from Fernie Hills.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
The Prince is on. The Prince is on. The Prince is on. He's on the streets. The Prince is on.
Are you on the streets or are you on the fleets, Mitch?
Nah. You absolutely nailed it, Buzz. Here I am, and just in between the lounges and the bar on the on the lower, the side of the Oasis. It's beautiful here. I actually haven't even been on this vessel just yet. Oh, as we go deck from side to side here a little bit. This is very nice. I mean, I'd say it's not ideal conditions, but I guess when we're with the wet weather, but I guess when we're painting up a Halloween themed cruise, it's probably the best sort of day to sort of do the settings. Hopefully we'll have some nice weather on the 31st of October because, it's open air out here, so we want some nice weather as we're cruising along.
Are you docking at the moment?
This is where it's all happening
Head to starboard side, quick. Mitch, head to starboard.
Yeah, where are you?
Find myself. Well, I'm right here at the bar. Damo, you're happy running things, mate. So you're getting everything ready, obviously, for going out in the weekend. But we're all shipping shape for October 31st for the Nova Halloween cruise.
Get excited.
Yeah. So what you got a costume ready yet, or anything in mind?
I definitely won't be dressing up.
No, you're all business that
But
night.
that's a good point, though, Mitchell James. Is this a Hollywood themed event, Buzzman?
Oh yeah, dress up, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay.
I'd say that's a prerequisite to come.
Yeah, I think that I've read something about prizing for best dress, which, I take very seriously. So is there like a best dress sort of staff, but then also invitees? Because I'd like to think that I'm in the running there, guys. I mean, it's a bit of a selfish question when we're just here talking about the Oasis. But anyway, these are details we can discuss at another time. But we're talking about the largest party boat, 3-level premium floating venue, DJ from start to finish as well. Elevated VIP packages with a selection of food and drinks that they have here as well. Open air rooftop. I mean, if you're going to go out and do anything like this is far and away the best thing that you could be doing. Go out and see the beautiful Brisbane Brown River on one of the premium spots to come and celebrate.
For me, it's up top there, Mitchy, behind the DJ booth.
Yeah.
Where who's like if you're facing like the DJ does the decks, if you turn around, you're then facing forward. Almost at the Titanic position,
Yes.
And I don't know why I've drawn the Titanic into this discussion because obviously this one does reach its final destination. But you've got that moment where you're looking out over the river. It's magnificent.
King of the world.
King of the world.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ashley.
Now, what are we doing with as far as the DJ situation is concerned? And will there be an appearance from one DJ Lazy Suze?
I think we have to get DJ Lazy Susan on the decks at some point. A DJ will be announced in due course.
Nice.
There will be someone we're trying to lock that in behind the scenes now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Damo's just saying it's been a big request by the people at Oasis. They've been fighting for DJ Lazy Susan. I know it was a world tour that lasted one night only, but ever since that,
We'll make it like a Johnny Farnham retirement.
Yes. Yeah. And if there's one place that's going to do it, the Oasis is obviously best. We've done the land show, Damo, so we want to do the water one as well.
We got you there.
We've got it all covered down here at Oasis.
I tell you what, this is the party of the year. People want to get involved in this. This is going to be fantastic. Now, how exactly do people get involved in it again?
Yeah, register on the Nova Player app or Nova FM. So get there, register. And then on Monday morning on the show, we'll give away the first invites.
Oh, from next week?
Yep, from Monday. And Mitch, I believe actually even in your 5 a.m. show, you'll be sorting out our great listeners as well.
Yeah, a little sneaky early breakfast as well. I might find a couple of people to throw tickets their way. But you guys officially have the first tickets coming up at the beginning of the week. So, register and we start getting people to come along October 31. It's all happening.
There we go. There's Mitch live from Oasis, your ultimate weekend escape on the Brisbane River. And you can be partying with us.
That is big.
Nash Lutzy and Susie O'Neill's Halloween cruise on the 31st of October, Nova FM or the Nova Player to register. Up next, Bruce McAvaney joining us ahead of what will be an exciting weekend of sport and hopefully for the Lions in Melbourne tomorrow.
The Ash, Lutzy and Susie O'Neill podcast.
One of the great days on the sporting calendar tomorrow, that last Saturday in September. And the Lions are there. Of course, we've spoken to Lockie Neal a couple of times during the week, which has been great. But Bruce McAvaney, the legend himself, will be a part of the broadcast on Channel 7 from, I think, 2 p.m. tomorrow. But the great man joins us now. Good morning, Bruce.
Guys, how are you? It should be a great match. You must be very excited up there.
Well, there's a sense of remembering last year how we lost to Collingwood, and the old saying is, Bruce, you got to lose one to win one. But there's a quiet confidence, I'd say, amongst Brisbane Lions supporters and the team itself. We were just speaking off air about there's just an element of, I feel like there's been a change in the belief of the team over the last couple of months in particular. So I think we're set for a pretty great grand final.
I think so. And look, last year I know Brisbane came out on the losing end, and that's pretty hard to swallow. But it was a great game of footy. I mean, it was either way. It was two fantastic teams, and we've got something similar this week. They've found a way, haven't they? Because they were dead and buried earlier in the year. There's a couple of times you thought, well, they're not going to make the finals. They can't get there, and then their last 15 matches, they've won 13, and the two they've been beaten in, they've had good leads and coughed them up. So They're a team you can't count out. They seemingly can come from anywhere. They've certainly proved that over the last couple of weeks in those matches. So I think they're well placed to give themselves a great shot of winning.
Well, I think they've got a calmness about them. They seem to have an assurance in their own ability to be able to produce, because even we get Lockie Neal to come in here quite regularly, and during the season when they were in that down period, he was very calm and not overly confident, but sure that they were on the right track. In other words, they didn't panic when things haven't gone their way, and we've seen that sort of just displayed in the last couple of matches where they can get behind on the scoreboard, but they can just hold it together, and it seems to be a very tight unit, the Brisbane Lions at the moment.
Absolutely, and he's leading from the front.
Yep.
He's making sacrifices at the moment. We know that to get out there and play, but that calmness. Look, when Geelong kicked the first goal after half-time last week, they were 25 points behind, and they were probably a goal away from being maybe out of it, but the week before they'd come from 44 points behind. So, there's a feeling, as you say, on the field that let's not panic. Let's just keep doing the things that we do well. They did change it up a bit last week. They certainly attacked through the corridor in the third quarter. Their ball movement was really so exciting to watch, and then a couple of players did very special things, and particularly Rayner, I think, in the last quarter.
Yeah.
And they were able to get over the line. So Sydney will know that. The Swans did something similar against the Giants 3 weeks ago now, when they were out of it at the SCG, and they produced those heroics. So I just feel like this should be one of the really great grand finals.
Yeah, you mentioned before this, that the unknown. It's the beauty of sport, Bruce. I reckon it's the fact you can't write the narrative. You never know which way it's going to turn. There's a different trajectory that can come off different. It's just the unknown of it. And it's so great that you're part
legends are made tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Like it's an unknown. It's the unknown of it. Of just absolutely no idea what's going to happen in a big event like this. Is it what draws you to these big events, Bruce? And I love the fact that you're part of the coverage tomorrow. You'll be hosting the coverage right up until you hand over to Brian Taylor and James Brayshaw and the team. But even this year, people probably don't even know this. Like, Bruce was in Adelaide at the National Athletics Championships, commentating for the people at the venue and for the streaming. Then I switched on the streaming for the Oceania Athletics Championships in Fiji this year. And Bruce was commentating, like, at one point I turned over, it was the under-20 women's shot put. People don't even know that. Bruce, you still immerse yourself in the great narrative of sport, which I find incredible.
Well, I'm still enjoying it. It's just so nice, lads. I'm still enjoying it, and to be part of it tomorrow is just, it's a privilege. You're never not moved by these events, and we talked earlier about, just how big the occasion is and the difference between a win and a loss to these players. So there's only 3 players in both these teams combined that have actually tasted a grand final victory. A lot of them have been in losing grand finals, so there's a real freshness about tomorrow. Brisbane have not been there for a while. We know that 20 years in terms of, just over 20 years since they've won one. And Sydney have won, the Swans have won 5 premierships in 130 years. So,
wow.
They're few and far between. So these days are precious. So the stakes are high.
Yeah.
2 teams that have got hungry players. They've got match winners. Both teams are exciting to watch. So it's not hard being excited going to the footy and being a part of it. So that's, I'm really looking forward to what I think could be a remarkable grand final with 2 teams that I think are generally well liked around Australia. I think, we've all got our team. We all have our particular team, but I think both the Swans and the Lions are much admired, and there's a lot of affection for both teams around Australia, and I think it's going to be one of those just super grand finals.
A lot of affection for you too, mate, and the coverage is richer for having you back on the screen, so it'll be great to see you tomorrow. I think
it's all day pretty much.
The coverage, it pretty much starts all morning, but the official pre-game will start with that includes the entertainment from Katy Perry. Will start from 12 p.m, but the bounce down is at 2:30, and Bruce McAvaney will be hosting.
You a Katy Perry fan, Bruce?
Well, my daughter is. I tell you what I am. I'm really impressed with how she's rolled up the sleeves and got stuck in this week. She's been such a star in Melbourne. So, I'm certainly a fan, and I'm looking forward to hearing her songs tomorrow.
Thanks, mate.
Great to hear. We can't wait to hear you tomorrow, Bruce. Thanks, mate.
Hey, all the best, boys.
There you
The
go.
great Bruce
Have a good day.
McAvaney.
Yeah, and don't forget, 7 is your home of footy, and 7 Plus is the only place you can stream it all live, free, and in HD.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
I'm smarter than Suze.
Brighton Homes are now offering up to $35,000 cash back on their homes. You don't need to be smarter than Suze to live brighter and save more with Brighton.
Liv
Who we got?
on the phone. Yeah, Liv, is it? Yep.
Yes, hi.
Going once, going twice. Liv out of Brighton. You there?
Yes, hello.
All right. Now, geez, you sound familiar. Liv, you were on about a year ago or so. Was that you?
Yes, and I failed so bad that I got caller of the week.
But really? Did you really? You didn't get pants though, did you? It was like a full
No.
4-1 loss or something like that. You went down.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, you got another crack at it now. Redemption
Absolutely.
round, and we're playing
I'm
for
back.
$200.
Okay, perfect.
All right, let's go, Liv. 30 seconds on the clock. Your time starts now. What is the capital of New Zealand?
Auckland.
What item of clothing does a cobbler work with?
Socks.
Which team is Australian Oscar Piastri currently driving for?
Ferrari.
Which company produced the GameCube?
PlayStation.
What is 73 plus 37?
82.
Stop the clock.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Yep.
Liv, remember just before when we were talking about your last performance, and I said, well, at least you didn't get pantsed.
Oh, dear.
Let's wait and see if that's going to be the case
I
this
don't know
time
the answers,
around.
but it didn't feel
Again.
didn't feel good, did it?
Did Liv have any time left on the clock?
Yeah, I mean, she had 2 seconds on the clock.
Well, that's something. Let's bring in the
That's
game.
positive.
Yep, here we go.
Just after 8 on any weekday.
Oh,
if you
God,
listen
this is
to Nova,
Susie's
you
friend,
can
Matt.
hear them say, bring in the gimp, bring in the gimp. Smarter
help
than
him while
Susie's the
Susie's on
game they
holiday.
play. You better be quick or she'll blow you away. Bring in the gimp, bring in the gimp. Answer 5 questions as quick as can be. If you get them all right, you could take the money. Bring in the gimp, bring in the gimp. She's not only quick, but she can keep her cool, just like she did when she swam in the pool. Bring in the gimp, bring in the gimp. Now it's over to Rabs to usher her in with her favourite intro. Let's bring the gimp in.
Is he okay?
He's not okay, mate.
Susie O'Neill! Hold the phone, Freddie! Susie O'Neill! I thought we a miracle! You won't see anything like that again this year!
30 seconds on the clock, and your time starts now. What is the capital of New Zealand?
Christchurch.
What item of clothing does a cobbler work with?
Shoes.
Which team is Australian Oscar Piastri currently driving for?
Red Bull.
Which company produced the GameCube?
Don't know.
What is 73 plus 37?
110.
Stop the clock.
Quick as we...
8 seconds left for Susie.
Smoked it on time, Suze. All right, no need for a 2K this morning. Let's have a look at it, though. What is the capital of New Zealand? Sue said Christchurch. Liv said Auckland. It's Wellington. Windy Wellington. So it's 0-all. Item of clothing a cobbler works with. Well, Liv said socks. It's close, but you can't get that. It's shoes, which Suze said. Suze hits the front. 1-0, top of the third.
You still there, Liv?
Liv, we got you there? Hey.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it.
Which team is Australian Oscar Piastri currently driving for? Now, you said Ferrari here, Liv. Sue said Red Bull. Correct answer, Buzz,
McLaren.
is McLaren.
I'm doing well.
Yeah, although he's, what's his name? Ricardo's gone, is he?
He's gone.
Like, will he get a drive next year?
Maybe. I don't think so, though. Not the way he's carrying on about it.
Oh, is he having a bit of a whinge?
No, as in, I think he's sort of saying it's his last hurrah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I saw him in tears. That's never a good sign.
No.
Oh, really? 1-0 Suze. Question number 4. Which company produced the GameCube? I don't remember what you both said. Nintendo was the answer we needed. 1-0 Suze. And then 73 plus 37. Sue said it was 110, which it is. You said 82. Liv, you've been pants. I'm so sorry. Where are you now? Are you on your way to
I'm
work?
Yeah, I'm on my way to work.
Are you're still in admin?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll
yeah.
brighten up the office. Yeah.
There you go.
Hopefully no math questions.
In the office. Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Cave it. Right. Liv, are you a Kylie Minogue fan? It's my first question.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I've got good news for you because Kylie's back. She's bringing her Tension tour to Brisbane with a new show at the Entertainment Centre, 26th and 27th of February.
Oh, wow.
Frontier pre-sale starts today at 3 p.m, Buzz.
Yep.
So for details, you can head to frontiertouring.com. Guess what? We've got a double pass for you. You're heading!
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
How good is that? Congratulations. Well done.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, that's all we get today because I'm busy. We've got stuff to do, haven't we?
We do have stuff to do. We've got to play Smarter Than Suze again at 9. It's worth $300.
Yes.
And we'll chat all things spring racing with Kian Dickens.
Yeah, Sky Racing Rosanna, superstar.
After this.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
It's such a big time in sport at the moment. You got the grand final happening tomorrow, AFL, grand final rugby league the week after that. Then we turn to all the spring racing carnival kicks off.
Yeah, and fans of Sky Racing, or fans of racing, will know the name Kian Dickens from the Sky Racing presenter, who's been a revelation. And I found out last week, though, good morning, by the way, Kian, who joins us in studio at the stables this morning.
Good morning.
How you going?
Yeah, good.
I found out last week, because Kian's a very good tipster as well, but I found out that that I might be getting the B tips, what they call the B tips.
What do you mean?
No.
But other people get the good oil, the good Iggy, if you like.
From Kian.
Yeah, and I maybe haven't been getting the top ones. Is there any truth that I'm in the B tips?
I think it just came down to how much you were listening to the conversation.
Okay, well, Kevin Carmichael got a great tip because we're at the Devils Grand Final on Sunday, and I'm standing with them, and I swear that I wasn't told about this tip, and Kevy got on. Sorry, Kevy, if your family doesn't let you bet.
Well,
Yeah, you've thrown him under the bus.
Well, did it win?
It won!
Yeah, well, there you go. And I say, if you do have a pecking order and you've put Kevy Carmichael ahead of Lutzi, you're a good judge of character. So it's like a tick in my book.
100%. Racing's got, like, the whole Peter Volandis thing in Sydney and everything. Like, it's exciting that Rosehill Gardens has their big race this weekend is the Golden Rose. I went to that a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Racing's going gangbusters in Sydney and Melbourne. It's huge down there.
It's huge, yeah. Peter Volandis has done a lot in that space and continues to as well. I think a lot of prize money increases and things like that, and attracting more people to the sport, some young people, so we can make it more sustainable with people joining our industry moving forward, I guess. But the prize money on offer is crazy, which then in return equals really good quality racing.
Yeah, international racing. What is the Melbourne Cup still the pick? If you if you could go to any event, I'm speaking as a consumer. Mm-hmm. If you go to any event in Australia racing wise, would the Cup be the one? Because I rate the Everest. I'm in the last couple of Everest at Royal Randwick.
That's a Volandis production, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is like. And Brisbane's doing some great. We should say Brisbane's doing some great stuff. But the experience at the Everest in Sydney last year was incredible.
I would say the Everest is.
It's the richest, right?
Yeah, and it's taking that spot.
Well, you reckon prestige-wise?
Yeah.
Really?
And it's about to get Group 1 status as well, so that's, going to make it more pinnacle and things like that. But that's a personal point of view. I think the Cup's always going to be more widespread because people who aren't even involved in the industry all get around the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, right.
But for mine, I haven't even been to the Everest.
Yeah, I'm in at 2 now. It's something else.
Yeah,
like if you
I
get a
would
chance
love to
do
go
it.
to the Everest.
Really? Yeah. So where's your passion for horse racing come from? Because you're Gilgandra, aren't you? From the Gilgandra, yeah.
Where's that? Southwest of pretty much nowhere.
Yeah, Central West New South Wales.
Yeah, so talk through that. I love that because like you moved from Gilgandra chasing just a love of horse racing, and now you've got a full-time gig in the media doing it. But what's the journey been? How did it start?
I'm not from a racing background. It was just my dad loved a punt. We were on property, so he had some shares in a couple of horses, and they used to spell out at our place. And I just fell in love with the horse, the thoroughbred as a breed, and just got it in my head. I wanted to be a jockey. I used to follow Dad around to the country race meetings, and he'd pencil for the bookmakers sometimes, and I'd just float around the races for the day, and absolutely loved it. So I left school in Year 10 from Gilgandra High, and just waltzed into Dubbo, into the track there, and started to learn to ride track work. Then I was riding in races not long after. I put that away when I got a little bit taller, and then I just continued to ride track work, moved up to Brisbane, started riding track work for Tony Gollan when he first moved to Brisbane from Toowoomba, and he had a couple of good horses. And
so what is that? That's getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, different horse every morning, and and Tony, as the trainer, would say, "I want you to ride it this way."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd basically waltz in with a blue V, have a look at the list, see what I was riding, and I was just non-stop riding all morning. They'd lead them up to me, and we were just punching out however many horses. I think he's got like 150 horses or something like that in work. So it was a really busy morning, and that was it. That was my day. I'd usually go home and have a sleep after that. And then I started a family. So I wasn't riding anymore, but I was working with Racing Queensland with the apprentices. So that was a lovely segue into doing something that wasn't as hands-on, I guess, riding-wise, but I was still involved in the industry.
Yeah.
So how'd you get in the media then? Because it's like, and I see your dress sense when you're not on television, and it's borderline appalling.
But Kian's been the ambassador. She's been the ambassador before.
I've seen her. I know. I'm saying when she's on television, and when she's doing this ambassador.
Oh, you're saying there's a big difference.
She's dressed to the nines. I'm like, are you dressing yourself? I mean, Gilgandra's fashion isn't that good. I mean, where do you get it from?
Well, it's funny. Last night I was on the Nova Instagram because I thought, what am I going to wear to this radio gig this morning? And I saw a picture.
Don't drag us into it.
Don't say that we're responsible for what you're wearing today.
Ash, you had like a Broncos hat, a Speedo shirt, board shorts, and joggers.
We say it looks like he's going for trawler every morning.
I'm pure Harvey Bay. I'm as big a bogan as it comes.
Yeah, almost as big as Gilgandra.
Yeah,
when it comes to that.
Obviously when you get on TV, like I don't want to.
Do you dress yourself or?
Yeah, I dress myself.
She can dress herself. What do you think she is?
No, I'm just interested because there's this real juxtaposition between the one I know and the one I see on television.
No, I dress myself.
Good on you.
Yeah, like you said, I'm either or. I'm all out or I'm.
And you're up in Toowoomba tomorrow, so you'll be on the screens tomorrow in Toowoomba.
Yeah, Sky Thoroughbred Central. It's their feature race meeting.
Yeah, the Wheatwood's their big one.
Yeah, it's the Wheatwood, so it's massive.
If you stick around, because we're going to get a tip for the Golden Rose.
Yes,
as well.
give us one tip that.
Yeah,
as if we're the top tier. As if we're Kevy Carmichael.
Because we've got Cooler.
You want the A set.
We've got Cooler of the Week and the Olivia Rodrigo winner to still stick around.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast. Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill's Caller of the Week.
This is Caller of the Week, number 32 for the year.
God, we're up to 32.
Yeah. We did have a lot of great callers, and we did call it on Monday that we had Caller of the Week sorted, and this is who it is.
How long did Mark have?
7 seconds, Mark. It's a pretty good time there.
Ooh, start my sex life.
He's on fire.
Fantastic.
It's a tough gig working as hard as you guys, so I understand it.
You know it.
All those holidays, I know how it is.
Yeah, Mark was from Monday, 8 a.m, our Smarter Than Sue's contestant, and he's now our 32nd Caller of the Week.
What's going on, Mark?
Hey-o.
Were you confident?
How are we?
Good, mate. Were you confident as the week went on? There was pretty strong, it was a strong field. I think,
Yeah, no, I was confident. I knew you guys would like my 7 second sex life.
Yeah,
so
that was good.
Yeah,
you got the early run for the bunny. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the wife's getting the early run at the moment, but that's all good, mate. You know how it is, Lutzi.
Yeah.
God, he's still going.
Maybe share that conversation for 4BC or someone else, mate. That sounds a bit dark for us, whatever's going on there. She just pushing your buttons at the moment, Mark?
Nah, she's all right, mate. She's a good egg. She hasn't left me yet, so we're 2 weeks in tomorrow. So so far so good.
2 weeks into what?
Newlywed.
2 weeks in.
2 weeks in, and you're talking like this. Didn't you feel like this was a long-term deal? Like, oh yeah.
I think you say been married 20 years.
Yeah, no. 2 weeks tomorrow, so I've got. She's got a lifetime of disappointment ahead of her, unfortunately.
Well, mate, put her in one of my gone fishing bucket hats. That'll brighten up proceedings.
I'll put one on. I'll put one on while I'm giving her a good 7 seconds, and we'll see how we go.
Doubling down, isn't he? He's got one joke and he's using it today.
What would Lutzi do?
All I got.
Cooler.
That's all I got.
You'll get that as well, and Susie's just keeps doing beach bag as well. So
very nice.
Good on you, Mark.
Congratulations,
Much
mate.
appreciated. Thank you.
There you
Good
go,
on you,
legend.
buddy.
Congratulations. We've got Olivia Rodrigo tickets to give away next. So if you are in the draw, you'll have the old
I
five,
love the idea of
five
that, by the way.
ringtone, the old 5 ring deal. So if you don't pick up,
move
goes
on?
to someone else. So Olivia Rodrigo fans in the draw, stand by. We're drawing it out next.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
Hey, it's Olivia Rodrigo.
Olivia Trivia.
All right, we're talking flights, accommodation down to Sydney to see Olivia Rodrigo in the Guts Tour.
When is that, Buzzman?
17th of October. So
Yeah,
a few
not
weeks
too
away.
far away.
Yeah. 5 rings to get to answer, and if you don't, we'll move on to the next person.
Oh, surely if you've been...
there's only
through
three
the
people.
agita of the competition.
Yeah.
There have been so many moments this week. We've had like mums ringing up for their daughters like their whole life riding on the fact they want to get the Olivia tickets, and you got to answer 2 out of 3 questions.
Yeah.
And one mother didn't do it, and it was heartbreaking. It wasn't it to say,
No, it's
listen, you can't
devastating.
go in the draw.
Really?
And we're the bad guy then, Kian.
Yeah,
We look like
we
the bad
feel
people.
bad.
We're not the bad people.
No, we're good.
We're good people.
We're sending. We're
Were they
literally
hard
about to send someone.
questions?
Not if you're a fan.
Not really.
Oh, they're based on.
Well, that's got. We
Yeah.
don't want to send some just riffraff that want to go to Sydney for the weekend.
Yeah,
it's like flights, it's accommodation, and then the tickets. You can't get your hands on them, so you want to give them to someone who really appreciates it.
Yeah, I see.
All right, let's do it right now. 5 rings.
5 rings.
Hello.
Hello, Jade.
Hi.
How you going?
Jade.
hello.
Ash, Lutzi, Susie O'Neill, you're live on Nova. You've just
Good
won the
joking.
tickets to Olivia.
Serious? No. Oh my god, are you serious?
Keep crying, Jade. Promo.
I'm trying so hard not to.
No. We want tears.
Where are you
You
right now,
want
Jade?
tears? Okay, I'll bring it on.
You've just wanted. You're going to see Olivia in Sydney.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Whereabouts are you right now, Jade?
I'm at work, but I've just stepped away.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm trying. What day did you win the way into the final?
On Wednesday.
Was it for your daughter? I'm trying to remember.
No, it's for me. I'm the daughter. I needed my mum to support me morally.
That's right. Yes.
So will Mum,
Yeah.
will Mum make the trip with you, Jade, or what?
I think that my best friend Kate might be coming with me because it is her birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mum was there for support, but now she's getting brushed that Jade's got the ticket she wants to take,
Classic
which is
kid.
fair enough.
Classic kid these days.
Yeah. Well, how good is that?
Oh, we've lost her.
She's gone.
Yeah, that's the thing about Jade. She gets the tickets and then she just goes away.
She said she was at work.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jade.
Impact player.
Next week, we'll do this all again, Olivia Trivia. So get your knowledge on. These are tickets to see Olivia Rodrigo. She's not coming to Brizzy. That's why we're sending you down there to Sydney to see her live.
The Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill podcast.
I'm smarter than Suze.
Brighton Homes are now offering up to $35,000 cash back on their homes. You don't need to be smarter than Suze to live brighter and save more with Brighton.
Okay, last one for the week. Kelsey out of Springfield.
Hi.
Hello.
How you going?
Not too bad. Pretty
good.
You run a small business with your with your bestie.
Yeah, well, I say run. We're trying to start a small business, a little fashion brand.
Shorts?
Well, I'm doing shorts right now, but clothing in general.
Give it a plug. Come on.
Yeah, why not? We're very preliminary stages, but yeah, it should be something pretty special. Why not?
Oh, so unnamed. Is it unnamed at this point?
Unnamed. We've got about 5 names in the air, but yeah, unnamed at this point.
And are men's shorts going to be really short this summer? Or are they...
Oh, God, I hope not.
Well, I guess that's out then.
Yep.
Put away those silkies, Ash.
All right.
Well, $300.
When you get things underway with the big fashion label, let us know.
I will
We'll
do.
promote it here for you, gladly. What are we playing for?
300.
300, Kelsey. Let's get into it.
Amazing. Thank you.
Grand final weekend. Here we go. 30 seconds on the clock. Your time starts now. What is the ability to use both left and right hands equally well?
Ambidextrous.
What animal has the longest neck?
Giraffe.
Dan and Eugene Levy just hosted which American awards show?
Oh, I don't know.
What continent is the city Manila in?
Indonesia.
Spells.
Oh, no, Philippines. Sorry, Philippines.
Spells zucchini.
Zucchini.
Stop the clock.
I mean, it's pretty clear that you started that question, Ashley, which means that we can't take that second answer.
Oh, damn it. All right.
Repeat that, David. You're talking about question 4.
Yeah, I mean, the rule is that
once I start asking the next question,
he can't.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
Count.
You did have Philippines for the record there, but I'm not going to be able to accept it.
Yeah, Indonesia was. I mean, Buzz.
No, you're playing by the rules, mate, and I respect that about you.
He's such a stickler for the rules, Kian. You know what? He's such a goody.
Regulator.
He's such a goody.
1 second left as well for you, Kelsey. So you did have some time left on the board.
All right. Thanks,
what was
guys.
it? 1 second.
1 second.
Just a veritable Lutzies left in it. 1 second, as small as it gets. All right, let's bring in the Gimp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Susie O'Neill. Hold the phone, Freddie. Susie O'Neill. It will be a miracle. You won't see anything like that again this year.
All right, it's time to see how Suze went.
30 seconds on the clock, and your time starts now. What is the ability to use both left and right hands?
Ambidextrous.
Which animal has the longest neck?
Giraffe.
Dan and Eugene Levy just hosted which American award show?
The bear.
What continent is the city Manila in?
Asia.
Spell zucchini.
Zuccini.
Stop the clock. All right, how long did Suze have on the clock there?
7 seconds.
Give me a double tuco.
Double tuco.
Tape.
Jinx.
Tape. Yeah.
What is the ability to use both left and right hands equally well? You both said ambidextrous. That is correct.
You got that, haven't you?
1 all. Yeah, but I had to work hard on it. But I did.
Practice makes perfect.
That's it. What animal has the longest neck? You both said giraffe. That is correct. It's 2 all. Dan and Eugene Levy just hosted which American awards show?
What was it? I remember them doing it. I can't remember the name of the damn thing.
It was the Emmys. It was the Emmys. You both missed that, Kelsey, so it's 2 all. This is pretty exciting. Now, what about this one? What continent is the city Manila in?
That's a good question, because until I heard that twice then, I still didn't realise that the word continent was said.
Continent.
I agree. I didn't hear that continent either.
You got it wrong anyway.
What continent is the city Manila in? Now you did say the Philippines.
No, it said Indonesia.
Indonesia, then switch to the Philippines, but the continent that we're looking for is Asia.
Yep.
Which Suze got, so that now Suze has hit the front.
You like Kian?
And Suze is generally very good on the spelling.
Kian's nodding, like you didn't know that.
Okay, so Kian's going to have clause. Asia is the continent, Philippines is the country. Yes, I've got no problems with anything so far.
Hong Kong, she knows.
Spell zucchini. Suze got that wrong, which surprised me. And Kelsey, you said Zuccini, which is very good under pressure. And you've drawn it all level, 3 all. Over to Buzz for the time.
Well, you had 1 second left, Kelsey. Susie had 7, so she smashes you on time, unfortunately.
Damn it. She's so good.
She is.
You're not the first, you won't be the last to go down on time.
But Lutzie's going to look after you in the cave, Kelsey.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, hang on. No, don't go anywhere. Lutzie's taking Kian into the cave.
Yeah.
Hang on. Just wait a second. And by the way, Kelsey is at home with her 2-year-old toddler, Austin, as well.
Right.
If there's anything kid-friendly in there.
Well, Kian, what's kid-friendly? You've got to walk through here and just don't point at it. Walk over to it and
What have you found?
She's a bit wet in there, isn't it?
It's a family pass to Sea Life, Sunshine Coast Aquarium. Dive into Sea Life, Sunshine Coast Aquarium, these school holidays. Book online.
Are you reading this? Because there's no script in here. Like,
It doesn't sound read.
It's weird as you're just reading it.
Sounds
There's
very
been auto
natural.
cue in here, these television types. And what about that one? That sounds pretty... You don't have to read all that, just the top bit.
I don't have to read the context. Just a 200, just This is a $250 Lorna Jane voucher.
How good's that? Of course, Lorna Jane's Active Nation Day events this Sunday, September 29 at park runs all around Australia, helping raise funds for women's community shelters. You can head to lornajane.com.au for details, and I think that'll do.
Thank you so much.
You right, yeah?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, nice. Good on you, Kelsey.
It's weird.
Thank you so much, guys. That was awesome. Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
In here with someone else is weird. It's strange.
What, being in the cave?
Yeah, just with someone else. It's just weird.
Yeah. Get out of them, buddy.
It was weird. I don't want to talk about it.
No, we're getting out.
Hey, good luck to the Brizzy Lions.
Yeah, come on, Brisbane.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and Kian, you'll be at Tournament tomorrow.
Yeah,
Sky Racing.
Weekwood Day.
Weekwood Day. Good luck. I won't
Catch
get
you
in the
Monday.
cave anymore. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Ash, Lutzi, and Susie O'Neill's End of Week Recap.
Morning, everyone. Morning, everyone.
Let's just give me a testing 1, 2.
1, 2, 2. 1, 2.
First day back.
My God. The devs last night in the sheds was just nuts. We got on the bus, like the team bus.
Of course you did.
to come back to Bishop Park, and then Mickey Roberts, who's he's one of the trainers now. He's like, one of the boys, Asada. You know, the drug testers are here, and one of the boys hasn't peed yet. They literally wait till they pee. So I said, we're not leaving anyone here. Get off the bus. So everyone off the bus and sat in the middle of the field and had a 4X, waited until the player peed.
Wally tells this story. It was back in the 80s when they first started doing it, and it was after a game and he couldn't produce and the person was waiting there. And so Wally was having a couple of cans of 4X and then at one stage just went, oh bugger, and he poured the 4X into the
I don't know what the origin of this shop is. Silly Sollies.
Silly Sollies, like a reject shop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't think anything in the store is over $5.
What did you buy? Did you buy anything? We're just
I bought
browsing.
like $90 worth of stuff, which is a lot.
So how contrasting was your holiday? So one day you're in Silly Sollies and the next day you're on a private jet to Bondi.
Literally the next day.
Drinking crystal champagne.
Mate, it's Lutzi from Nova Radio. Are you actually Solly? Yeah. Are you Solly?
Yeah, mate, I am.
Man, that Cool and Gatter store is off the chart. I had a field day in there.
Some of this stuff is cheap enough. Take it home and just throw it at the cat to make the baby laugh.
Katy Perry, well, she's going to be performing at the Grand Final. She wanted to play 2 of her new songs, but they've agreed on 1 of her new songs. So they want her to play Firework. They want her to play, have you got Raw?
I'm playing it.
Oh. I'm a big fan of hers.
What else has she got? Raw.
I've actually booked my car in to get a new stereo. So
what do you mean? You're getting a woofer?
It's going to sound so good. And then, but Buzz just said, why do I need a subwoofer?
Yeah.
It just seems like...
Because you listen to the ABC.
ABC, Craig Zonka will be coming through. Jeez, with those deep apples of here, just imagine the subwoofer there.
Craig Zonka.
You're going to see that chimney jumping all over. It'll jump from one lane to another.
Oh, God. I reckon I could definitely pick my kids' partners in the future.
Yeah, you reckon?
Well,
Yeah.
I know what would suit them perfectly.
Yeah, because you've seen all of the highs and lows or whatever, I guess, yeah.
And your mum must have been the same with Jodie. She picked the perfect person for you.
She was like, I think this woman will put up with anything.
I've got the biggest first world problem. I'm meant to go to an island in Indonesia. Last week, 10 days before we're meant to go, they cancelled the trip because they rang and the email goes, you're not able to take your holiday because a Russian oligarch, a Russian has bought your island and he has closed it down.
There's too much Russian oligarchs interfering in the holidays of good, honest, decent, hard-working Australians. Oh, I had the most embarrassing thing happen to me just down there in the car park. You've got to drive down this little alleyway to get into the car park here, and then I have to hop out of the car and walk over to the,
swipey thing.
To the swipey thing. Car comes down the driveway, and I went, oh, it's Lutzi. And I just went, what?
So he's like doing a dance.
Yeah, doing a bit of a dance towards Lutzi, and then I realised, oh, that ain't Lutzi. Oh, it's a little lady in a little Audi hatchback. She stayed in the car and just looked in her glove box as I walked past. Loggy now, we've got him.
Pretty hectic. Did Katy Perry really knock you off the MCG today? Come on, priorities.
Yeah, I think we're training at Punt Road, like at Richmond facility. So, Katie's must have taken priority. So that's fair enough, though. It's fair enough.
No, it's kind of not.
I don't think it is fair enough.
I think you guys are actually the stars of the show. It'd be like racing the horses down a road at Melbourne Cup Day because
Meatloaf needs them.
Because Lutzie's in the birdcage.
I'm just looking. I can see James in the background. Your boy, he's on the putting green, and I can't tell if he's lining up a putt or if he's just staring dead scared into the eyes of that clown.
There'd be a little bit of that. Because the idiot is always... He's asking me to watch the movie It.
I watched that on athletics camp. That was so embarrassing.
Don't do that.
And I was
What was embarrassing that you were on athletics camp before yourself?
So there was that, and then there was the fact I had nightmares.
Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill. Head to the Nova Player to stream and listen live all day.
Ash, Lutzi and Susie O'Neill.